It's kind of hard to analyze a third of my life in one video, but I'll try to talk about the most important. A week ago was my birthday. When you're watching this video, it might be a little bit more. 30. Can't believe it. When I was 15, I thought 30 years old are old. Old. It's really funny because now I don't think 40, 50, or even 60 years old are old. You're old when you think so. I'm a completely different person compared to my 20 self. I think if you're in your 30s, you're too. The 20s. 10 years of my life. Everything has drastically changed a couple of times at least. I stepped into my 20s with cancer. I already spoke about it in my previous video. Watch this video if you haven't yet and want to know me better. My degree and change of perception of life, my first official job, when I finally realized that it was not what I wanted from my life, meeting the most wonderful person in a wedding, arguments with friends and family, war, immigration, a complete change of plan. Let's start in order. Education. And the first important lesson from my 20s, grades don't matter, knowledge does. I wish someone had told me that because it took me long to understand. You may spend your time wiser learning actual information and skills firsthand than learning some outdated ones. I always had to be the perfect pupil, the perfect student. For my parents, everything except A is not acceptable, and I followed this principle until my academic leave because of cancer. And then I decided that grades were not so important for me anymore. When you face death, grades are something you don't think of. But still shortly after my last chemo, I wanted to return to university. All in all, I'm not sure it was the best decision to spend 3 more years to get my useless diploma. Useless for me, of course. The knowledge from my university is useless. Tons of useless and outdated information, lots of useless topics. I wish I'd known this and freed from my parents' expectations sooner. Probably I would have spent my time wiser, but it's my path, it's my experience. I can't change it now. The second one, don't try to meet someone's expectations. People's opinions don't matter. Do what you want and follow your passion. At least try to make it happen. You don't necessarily have to drop everything and start from scratch. No matter how old you are, you can start learning something new in your spare time and implement it eventually. It might be hard for a little while, of course. It's out of your comfort zone, but over time it will become an essential part of your life, and you will be able to turn your new hobby into your main source of income. Let me tell you about 2 friends of mine. Both of them used to have jobs that they didn't enjoy, and when they got tired of them, they would simply quit without having other job offers, hoping to find something new soon. However, when faced with reality, it took them 1-2 years each to find a new job, and this cycle continued for a long time. Both of them constantly struggled with money, but one of them continues to work in any job available, regardless of personal preferences, while the other always dreamt of working in advertising but had no knowledge or experience in the field and was afraid to start from scratch. After spending many years jumping between jobs, he finally decided to pursue training while working somewhere simultaneously. And eventually, sometime later, he quit his job after receiving an offer from a desired advertisement company. 2 different people with similar patterns in the beginning and absolutely different lives now. Friendship. I have a lot to tell. I'm an introvert and don't need many people to talk to or meet with every day, week, or even month. I can chat sometimes, but I don't have a desire to meet a lot. I'm not lonely when I'm alone, and usually when I finally meet someone, the only thing I want to do is go home as soon as possible. Usually I spend a couple of hours with the person, not to be rude. I can be with someone very close to me forever, but with others, I don't want to. The third, most people don't like when you change or you change your behavior. So I had a group of friends. We were not close and I hung out with them once in a blue moon because of my best friend. They're mostly his friends. We didn't have much in common and our communication was very rare. Imagine a situation. My wife, my girlfriend at that time, only moved in with me. I just set up my new computer club, a lot of work there, and with my other activities. I didn't have time and energy for anything else for several months, and when they asked to hang out, I politely refused. But suddenly, after 3 months, they told me I had to hang out with them with my girlfriend because it was obligatory, and they decided she banned me from meeting them and started to insult her and me after all. The same was with my other friend. We've been friends since school, but our paths went in different directions and we communicated very rarely. And one day he told me my wife forbids me to speak with him. And not only that, my every action was under the influence of my wife, and because of her. I refused to lend him money once and he said it was because of my wife. I decided to check what he thought in general about my wife and told him everything he told me had been true. He told me he'd known my wife was terrible and denied me everything, controlled me, and so on. Practically the same happened even with my best friend. My wife always invited him over, offered to spend time together playing or talking. He usually refused and once told me that he felt unwanted. I couldn't understand it. We spoke practically every day, worked together, spent time together less than before. Of course, everything changed when I met my future wife and my focus shifted, but I didn't change my attitude towards people I love. But they don't understand that. And every and each of them accused my wife. Ridiculous. I don't understand any of those people. Nobody's forbidden me anything, especially my wife. She's never done anything like that. She's the most supportive and understanding person in my life. But I changed in a way they didn't like, and they started to blame my wife for no reason. The fourth, if your friends are envious, try to diminish your achievements and effort. They're toxic, they pull you down, or you feel your friendship is one-sided. You don't need such friends. I faced all of that behavior toward me, and now it's unacceptable in any way. I had a friend who I helped financially for years because I could and wanted to help him. I didn't fully support him, I just helped him occasionally. He didn't ask me for that, and that was my mistake. After many years, when I needed his help, he could help me. Not only didn't he help me, but he also worsened the situation. Money. The most important lesson about money: don't lend money, but if you do, don't believe people will return the money. Lend only that amount you can lose without regret. I lost a lot, don't make the same mistakes, but of course you will. People rarely learn from someone else's mistakes. Also, be wise with your money. I won't teach you in this video, but be wise in general. You don't want to lose the money you earned. Perfection is your enemy. In real life, nothing is perfect. Nothing you do is perfect, and it's okay. Making something perfect might be hard or even impossible. Transforming something good into the perfect one might cost you more than you can imagine. I was a perfectionist, but I'm already not, because if I tried to do everything perfectly, I wouldn't have done anything in my life. And instead of chasing perfection, I choose to develop over time, trying to do something well and become better. War. The most terrifying time of my late 20s. I didn't see the war in real life, but I could have been there and could have died. And everything that happened and it's still happening in Ukraine is horrible. I lost many people because they support this war, but I don't regret it. I can't communicate with such people. This path made me who I am today, and I can't say anything more. Be strong. See you.